That was rather typical. That goes on a whole lot. But the irony of all this is the Republican Party is in the position I was in 4 years ago, trying to get attention and qualify for objection and qualify for a speech. And they just, rolled me. And now Trump is so powerful that he took over. He's rolling the Republican Party, the people who are unhappy with his winning the nomination. So there's a bit of irony there, and a lot of ordinary Republicans are boycotting the conventions. It's messy, but that's pretty much what politics is all about, and it sort of bores me at times too, because I sort of know the outcome. It's just a lot of fanfare, a lot of talk, and the country just marches on with bad policies no matter what.
What do you hope comes from the convention?
Well, I'm not very hopeful at all. I don't think anything will happen. They'll have a platform, which is a farce. They've had platforms for years. Nobody pays any attention to them. And they fight and fume over this. And, Reagan had get out of the Department of Education and the Department of Energy, but nothing happens. So they give lip service. So you might have, a platform come out and say, hey, this is a good platform. But it means absolutely nothing. This is a lot of fanfare. And too often, the momentum is so great for our policies, whether it's the foreign policy or the Federal Reserve policy or the economic policies or trade policy, and Trump talks a lot about that. The momentum is so great, no one person is going to shift it, and that's why I think we are destined to get into a lot of trouble. And I do think that people who are sort of favorable toward the market think Donald Trump will do a good job. I'm less optimistic about that. I think
Mr.
some
Paul,
of his tone, yeah.
So, Mr. Paul,
Yeah.
I saw that you're not backing Donald Trump, but I'm having a hard time finding the overlap with Hillary. Gun control, immigration, taxes. Where do you line up? You're more similar to him than to her. So is it a personal thing? I've watched your career. I understand where you come from, but you are black and white to Hillary. I don't get it.
Well, I've never said anything favorable to Hillary. What I think this election is all about is picking the worst person.
Sorry to interrupt. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but not backing him is backing her, I would assume. You know that.
Well, that's somebody else's opinion, but if two people are equally bad, not picking one over the other,
Are they equally bad, though?
Well, I think that nobody's going to stop Trump. If he's off on a tangent, he's the boss, and he'll run roughshod over everybody. Hillary, if you have a Republican Congress, I like split, power. So if Hillary's in there, we've been forewarned, and Republicans don't like her, and they're going to put roadblocks in. And if you have a Republican Congress, there's a chance you might slow some of this stuff up. Not much of a chance, but on Trump, Trump's the boss, and he's going to run roughshod. He's not going to listen to the Congress or to anybody else.
Hey, Ron, do you think that any of Trump's, clear policy statements to this point are things that are going to be the same policy statements in 6 months? Let's assume he gets elected, and that's probably a big assumption. His policy statements, what are they, and do you think they're even things that we should be listening to?
Well, you should listen to them and find out they change around a whole lot. I don't hear him talking about, I guess, that clip from the tariffs of 35%. He doesn't talk much about that. He's changed all the time. One day he wants to get out of NATO, and the next day he says, declare war, even though it had nothing to do with our national security. I'd go to the Congress and declare war, and then I'd hire out, or I'd get NATO to fight this war. One day he wants out, so it's all over the place. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in any of his comments that he makes. I hope that things would be better regardless, but believe me, there are some things that aren't going to be changed, and we have a prevailing attitude in this country that big government is okay. For a socialist to do as well as Bernie Sanders, what's the country coming to?